and everything. So yeah, how have you been, man? And being back into the podcast game, and you hit the ground running already. So how does it feel to be back? And and again, thank you for coming on. For those that don't know, this is Nathan Ramachandra, one half of the NR Hour podcast. Now you got like a full team. Now you're like the BS video team. Now you got a full team of hosts that's helping you out, which I'm glad to, I'm glad to be a part of that too and helping you
Yeah.
out as much as I can. But yeah, how's it feel to be back and have a team now that's surrounding you and things like that?
Most of all, my hair is growing back, so that's good.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the academy didn't work out, but but right now I'm focusing on my next career and what I'm passionate about, which is sports journalism, and I applied for a lot of jobs in the sports industry so far, and another option is looking at schools to finish off my degrees in sports journalism. So that's what I'm focused on right now. I feel like I fit better in this industry rather than the law enforcement. So obviously it was a tough choice, but I think I made the right choice because for me it wasn't the right fit for the academy, in my opinion. But
Yeah, and I remember you were saying that, like, I mean, you tried it. I mean, that's the best thing you can do. You went out, you tried to, try to do it, and now, but like you said, you think that the sports industry is where you should be because what you do for
yeah,
your show, that's probably the best thing to do, probably for you is and maybe they said finish your school, whatever. So whatever you do, man, I know you work hard and
yeah.
you'll do well. So, but
Like,
yeah, how does it feel to be back?
well,
Grinding right away. You soon you came back,
yeah.
man. You started like jumping out like me and you had talked, and you were like, I'm booking some guests, and if you got any guests that I know, but I was like, I know you'll get right back into it. Like what? It took a day or two, and you had guests. So how has it been being back? Getting your show back together.
So first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to our team. Like you mentioned earlier, you're part of Courtney. You guys are part of it too, so you're part of the team too. And
Yeah.
but I want to give a big shout out to the main people. Alyssa, obviously my co-host. She's busy with March Madness. She's covering Gonzaga. Actually, Gonzaga plays tonight, so
Yeah.
what a good time for her covering March Madness. And give a shout out to Gabby Herbutt, who's part of the team also. Gabby Rosenthal, who's part of it. Caroline Ames, she's part of it. Global Kid Media is part of it. Even Julian Bobby, if you know him, know both of them from Grunt Talks and
Yeah.
their show GT Sports, they're part of it. And we're planning on to add more people in there, and Vibe might be part of it too. So we're gonna reach out to Vibe if he wants to join too. So that's another potential candidate for the team. And it's always good to have a team like you guys have a big team in BS3 Radio and everybody helping out there, and that's our goal too. Be like you guys. I mean, not be like you guys, but like have a team like we can help each other out. And our next goal for the show is to put it on like what Spreaker you have, and we're trying to put it on Anchor,
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple, iTunes. So that's our next goal, right? That's what we're working on, and also we're working on to get sponsorships. That's the main thing,
Yeah.
sponsorships. But
Yeah.
so I think we're working on that. It's going to take a long process to find sponsors, but I think I have a good friend of mine. Her name is Kim. She's helping us out currently about sponsorship. So she's sending our stuff out to her marketing team to find out what kind of sponsors can help us. So that's what we're doing right now. But this is a family here. The team that we have at the NR Hours family. You guys are family, and I'm just happy to be back and doing my thing. Doing the thing I love, and obviously you guys see all the guests that's coming on next week. And Monday we have a busy Monday. I have 4 people coming on Monday, so alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tuesday we have a fitness person coming on. Wednesday we have a MLB pitcher who's pitching in the KBO league right now in Korea. He's coming on Wednesday, and I'm currently working on more things here for us. But I'm just grateful to be back. And I just noticed something when I was at the academy. It was slow for my team to get some of the guests, but for some reason when I came back, it started to rapidly come back again, which is so weird. But I mean, it's just crazy. But I'm just happy to be back working with the team and working with you guys. And yeah, I'm excited for the potential guests that might come on and the guests I'd agree to come on. So
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the great thing that you jump right back into it, and got right back into it, and just you just had like guests and everything. And like you said, I'll help you out as much as I can as well, just sharing your things and just being on the show and promoting it and whatever it takes, because we always look out for each other, which we always when we have certain guests. We send the guests our pages and your page and everything. But yeah, you're building a team.
Sorry to cut you off, but like for example, we had Amy Trask on this week, and she's we're gonna help you out with that with her too on your show. But she's busy. But when we spoke to her, obviously it was only audio. They only requested audio, but when we spoke to her, she is a strong-minded woman. She learned a lot from her, and I'm just happy that she came on the show. And whoever. So we're gonna help you guys with Amy Trask too on your show. It might take a while because of her schedule, but we're gonna help you get her on your show too at some point.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Like you said, it's funny that we both you named Gabby Rosenthal and Gabby Hurlbutt. I still remember when I think you had Gabby on first, or I can't remember Gabby Rosenthal. I think one of us had her on. I think we had her on during the same week, and. Either I had her on and then you reached out, and then Gabby Hurlbutt, the same thing. Like I had her on a couple of times and then you reached out to her. Now she's part of the team and she's been on the show a lot of times and both our shows and also Gabby Rosenthal. So shout out to the entire NR Hour team and what you guys are doing. And as you said, it's just all about building the podcast community. And that's what it's about, so everyone that's part of this journey, they're all doing a great job. So shout out to the NR Hour and the BS3 Radio podcast family and network. And like you said, if you need help trying to get on Spotify and, Ben he's a good outlet for it because he runs a lot of this behind the scenes and he's gotten, even with Spreaker, you can just connect with Spreaker and just put it, with more people and just get more listeners, more viewers, things like that. So that's great. So he can help you out with that, getting on Spotify.
You said Ben, right? Ben?
Yeah, Ben. Yep, BS3. Yep. Yeah, so reach out to him. He can maybe try to help give you into the right direction and put things on Spreaker and Spotify and Anchor and iTunes and all that. So, but looking forward to seeing what you got.
Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Miss Mocha Bella, Taryn Rodriguez, your advocate listeners that joined your show. So I want to give a big shout out to them and even Ben and whoever joins your show every day. I mean, I just want to give a big shout out to them too.
So. Yeah, of course. Yep. Erica Fernandez. Yeah, she's part of, she got her show on BS3 Radio as well. I mean, there's so many Eagles versus everybody. There's like a whole different team. Miss Mocabella, as you said, she's on here now. She's in the chat room. She says good afternoon. So yeah, I always shout them out and T-Rod, Taryn Rodriguez as well. Yeah. But let's get into this show, man. Let's start with this March Madness. I named the name of the show is Madness of March. I said it's back. March Madness is back. There was a lot of upsets yesterday. Yeah. That's what it is all about. So who do you have in your Final Four?
Damn. First of all, I had Ohio State in my Final Four in both of my brackets. But that freaking 15 seed. How do you say Oral
Roberts? Right? Yeah, Oral Roberts. Yep.
That's like when was the last time that a 15 beat a 2 seed? I think it was.
Oh, I don't even remember. Long time ago, but remember 2 or 3 years ago, number 1 seed for the first time ever. That was Virginia. They lost 2-3 years ago to a 16 seed. So 2-15. Yeah, that's another one that you don't see much. And Ohio State, I didn't have them going. I had them going to the 16, but I didn't have them going past that. But I figured they would get past Oral Roberts. But who else did you have in your Final Four?
So I had Gonzaga, obviously, and then I had Michigan, Illinois. I had all the number 1 seeds in the Final Four, actually.
Okay. All right. So I got Gonzaga, Alabama, Illinois, Baylor. That's my Final Four. Yeah. Like I said, I had Ohio State going to 16, but then they got bounced out.
I have Gonzaga winning it all, but you never know with this tournament. I think obviously March Madness is expected to. I mean, they lived up to all the hype from yesterday, and watch out for Rutgers, man. Watch out for Rutgers. Yeah, I think this is a team where they can be the next Cinderella story here because They beat Clemson yesterday, and
Yeah.
I love the way they played yesterday against Clemson, and I watch out for that team, and even obviously Loyola College. That Sister Jean thing is amazing. What I'm seeing there. But
They
watch
had
out
a
for these. Yeah, watch out for. I think watch out for these Cinderella stories, man. I think this March Madness is not a cakewalk for these top seed teams. I think they have to go through a gauntlet, and especially for and even Gonzaga too. I think it's not going to be easy for them, even though they're talented and way over. I think obviously they're the number one seed, but I think these top seed teams, it's not going to be a cakewalk this year. I think there's a lot of it could be a lot of upsets here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of obstacles for these top teams, and the one thing I think with this season, since it was a very unprecedented season, you had a lot of teams, a lot of things was going on because with coronavirus, and there was a lot of stoppages and a lot of moving parts, and some teams played a full schedule, some didn't, wasn't able to because they had to pause for whatever reason, COVID running rampant, or different things, or just their conferences where some teams
Yeah,
they just couldn't play, they couldn't travel. So for them to even have a turn, to do this tournament, them and the women's side is tremendous, and anybody can win this. Like you said, Oral Roberts beat Ohio State. That was a huge upset, and
yeah,
Ohio State was like you said, some had them in the Final Four. I was talking to someone at my kickboxing gym. We were talking about Final Four, and she's like, her bracket's done because she had Ohio State. And I said it's not necessarily finished, but you gonna have the four, you have three, and whoever else you had, and but yeah, like that was a big one. I mean, what team impressed you yesterday? Like, Baylor did their thing
yeah.
yesterday, and Illinois crushed Drexel.
I
Uh,
think I think Florida impressed me because
mm,
talent wise, they're not up there with all the teams. I think they have the less talent in this tournament, in my opinion, Florida. And then I think they could have lost yesterday, but they kept up. They played tough and they were able to win. But I think Florida impressed me, even though talent wise they're not there right now. I feel like I think at some point they're going to lose in the tournament. But I think Florida impressed me a lot yesterday.
yeah, Florida was big. That was a big one. And as you said, you talked about Rutgers. I think
Yeah,
Rutgers was a
Rutgers too.
yeah. I had them. I had them going. I had them beating Clemson and then losing to
Yeah.
Houston. So they got to play Houston next round. And the one surprise, well, yeah, kind of a surprise, is Syracuse beating
Yeah.
down on San Diego State like that. I mean, I knew it was going to be close. I thought it was going to be a close game, and it was a toss up. I had San Diego State, but the way Syracuse in that zone, and they were hot from the 3-point range. Like they shot lights out from the three. So that was big. Oklahoma State, they
Oh,
scooped by
yeah.
against Liberty. I mean, and a lot of and there's a lot I read about a lot of about Oklahoma State getting far in the tournament, so they got to play a little bit better. Oregon State beating down Tennessee yesterday. That was huge. Like that
Yeah.
was a 12-5 seed. Tennessee was inconsistent all season. Talk about Loyola Chicago. No surprise there. They had that run 2 seasons ago where they got to the Final Four. They were the Cinderella team that got to the Final Four. And
How about that? How about that team Mean Green? What's that team called?
yeah, that
Oh,
was Ohio, right? Was that
yeah,
Ohio? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
That's another.
yeah, that's another one. Purdue or North Texas. That was North Texas. Sorry,
Oh,
North
that's
Texas beat
yeah.
Purdue. Yeah, and I had Purdue in the Sweet 16, so
Oh wow.
they're done. Yeah, and then Villanova beat Winthrop yesterday.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
Villanova. I have Villanova going far, but not the Final Four though. But I have Villanova going far because of their track record.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, you can't count them out. And then Wisconsin crushing North Carolina yesterday. My
yeah. Oh my
goodness,
God.
what
Yeah.
was that about? Like it said, like I thought, like okay, I had North Carolina winning that game, but I didn't think they were going to get
To be
crushed.
honest, I picked Wisconsin here because North Carolina to me during the season showed inconsistency. I think they were
They
up and
did.
down, and then I think Wisconsin, obviously they're a good team, and I mean obviously Roy Williams is a heck of a coach, Hall of Fame coach in my opinion. But North Carolina was up and down this season, and I feel like Wisconsin was ready to play. I picked Wisconsin here, so that so to pick North Carolina to beat North Carolina. So
Yeah, I know, and then I thought like, okay, North Carolina, they were inconsistent. A lot of these teams were inconsistent this year because, like I said, because of all the stoppages and things like that. but man, it was definitely a March Madness yesterday.
It's gonna be another great day today because women start too today too, or the women's side.
Yeah, yeah, the women's side, and then you got some of the top teams, Michigan today, and
Yeah,
Gonzaga, Kansas. Um, it's which matchups are you looking for? I'm looking. I know Florida State they're playing right now, and
yeah,
Georgetown was getting beat down. I had them beating Colorado.
yeah. I had Georgetown beating Colorado too.
Yeah, because they got hot towards the end of the year. They won the Big East tournament. So I figured, okay, Patrick Ewing's got these guys turned around. But the last I checked, they were losing to Colorado. So we'll see what happens there. You got UConn, Maryland, Alabama, Iona. There's a lot of good matchups today. Ohio, Virginia. We'll see
Yeah,
what Virginia do because Virginia had a couple cases of some players had COVID, so they weren't able to practice until like yesterday, I believe. So and travel. UC Santa Barbara, I got them going to the 16. So let's see, they're a 12 seed. Hopefully, they beat Creighton, and then you said Gonzaga. So anybody, Florida State, any teams you got your eyes on today that you're looking forward to?
I think the one obviously I want to see Kansas because I feel like Kansas they have something to prove here. I think obviously they're known for their track record. So I think Kansas needs to step up here to show the world that they're still here. Kansas.
Yeah, yeah. Ms. Morgabella says that she has Michigan, Gonzaga,
Gonzaga.
Houston, and Baylor. So she's got Houston as her surprise team going to the Final Four. So
Yeah, so I got Houston beating Rutgers, but don't be surprised if Rutgers beats Houston.
Yeah, don't be surprised at all. You can't be surprised at something like that. The one team that I have that's going far is West Virginia, the three seed in the Midwest. I got them beating. Well, I had them beating San Diego State, but they got to beat Syracuse now, and Houston Rutgers. So they're in that bracket with Illinois and Oklahoma State and Loyola Chicago. It's a tough bracket. That's a tough bracket, but yeah, she has Houston. So we'll see if Houston can get past Rutgers, and if they do that, they move on to the 16. But I'm looking forward to see how these brackets. Yeah, what was your record yesterday? After yesterday,
Damn. It was.
I think 9-7. Not too good.
I think I went like. I know. I think I went like what? I got to double check, but I think it's like 9-6 or something. I'm not too sure.
Okay, so you were 9-6 or 10-6. Okay, yeah. I seen a lot of 10s, 9s. I didn't see too many 15 out of 16 this time around. But
kudos to whoever still has a perfect bracket. Kudos to them.
yeah. Props to them if they got a perfect bracket. I never get a perfect bracket, man. I never do. Like there was one year, like the 1 year after the first 2 days, I had missed like 2. Over the whole brackets. I was like, oh man, it's the best I've done. And I got money involved because I'm in like couple leagues, couple work leagues that I'm doing.
I'm in your league, I think, and I'm in Brittany Harris's league too.
Me too. I'm in Brittany Harris's league too. I'm in her league. Ms. Bocabella said she went 10-6. Yeah, a lot of people went 10-6 and 9-7 yesterday. What I've seen from some of the leagues I'm in, 10-6, 9-7. So hopefully we get a better date today. So we'll see. But let's move on to some NFL football. Let's go into that. Right
that's another madness.
Yeah, that's another madness. Free agency, man, and the draft is next month. Free agency hit the ground running. Dak Prescott, your Cowboys, they're making some moves. They picked up Dak. Dak got his long-term contract and got a lot of guaranteed money. But what was your initial reaction of Dak getting his deal?
Before we get to that, also the Cowboys also signed Brett Urban, defensive tackle. He's a great pickup, and we also signed Taro Besham from the New York Jets. We also signed him. He's a defensive tackle, and we're trying to get more defensive back help. So the Cowboys are having a great quiet offseason, in my opinion. But with the Dak contract, I'm happy. I think, I heard that Russell Wilson had the Cowboys on his list before Dak signed that deal, and I was wondering, I was trying to figure out why Jerry Jones didn't jump on that quick to get Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson even had him on the list. I'm surprised that Jerry Jones didn't go after that. Like, but I'm happy that Dak Prescott is underfold now for the rest of his career. He deserves it. Coming off. So the big question here is the injury, right? How he comes back from the injury.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing and seeing, I think he said that he's ready, 100% healthy, and he looks good. So I can't wait. I think Dak Prescott, his ceiling is still growing. He's a great talent. I'm not saying he's Russell Wilson, but he reminds me the way he plays like Russell Wilson. But he's not Russell Wilson at all. No, he is his own self, in my opinion. So he has time to grow. We have great weapons around him. And I heard a rumor that we're trying to trade Michael Gallup for Stephon Gilmore. Even though Gilmore is a top corner, I would not do that because Gallup has a lot of upside. We need to have him on the team for Dak, especially. And we have no tight end. Actually, we have Blake Jarwin as a tight end, but we need to solidify the tight end spot, like what the Patriots did with the two of them. But all in all, I love the contract with Dak. But I'm just trying to figure out why Jerry Jones didn't go for Russell Wilson. But I'm just happy that Dak is back, and I think we have a great future with Dak. So.
Yeah, I think to address the Russell Wilson thing of it, I think I don't think Seattle really wants to get rid of Russell Wilson. Yeah. I really don't. I mean, they would be silly if they got rid of Russell Wilson. And and I know that they've been talking about that was one of the teams that Russell Wilson's agent put out there. It was the Cowboys, it was the Saints,
the Bears.
There was the Bears, and they struck out on that deal too. They got Andy Dalton. Good luck with that, the Bears. And now Trubisky's in Buffalo. So now the Bears got they got Nick Foles and Dalton.
The interesting question is does Alex Smith come to Dallas as a backup?
As a backup. That's a good one. I mean, I think the Eagles need to get Alex Smith because we only have Jalen Hurts on the roster now. But for Dak's contract, I think it was just well deserved, and in a way of the reason why I think they kept him because they had really nowhere else to go with their quarterback situation unless you were getting Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's dealing with a lot of other stuff going on, big stories there on that front. But if Dallas didn't resign Dak, they would have been rebuilding. Like I'm like, you have a great talent in Dak Prescott. Pay that man no matter what it took. And I know some people think he got overpaid, but that's the market for
that's the right contract for him.
Right. That's the market for the quarterback. So they had to pay. Even if they had to overpay, they had to pay him. Because if they didn't, they would be hurting. Like they would be hurting for a quarterback unless they got Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or somebody like that. So I agree. I think it was a good move. I think it was the right move. I think it was the only move they could have did, and now they paid him the money. So now it's all about delivering and getting to the playoffs, getting deep into the playoffs, and maybe to a Super Bowl. So we'll see what other moves they make and what they do in the draft.
I got to say something to all the haters that's hating on my team right now. But first of all, Dak Prescott, when he got drafted, and when Tony Romo hurt his back, and when he had to retire, Dak Prescott led us to the playoffs in his first year, rookie year, 13-3, went to the playoffs. That speaks volume of how talented he is. He could be, and obviously with all the weapons around him now with CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, I still believe in Cooper. By the way, I think Cooper can have a bounce back year. Also, Michael Gallup is there, and you have Blake Jarwin, you have Zeke, obviously, Tony Pollard. Man, and then obviously they're going to probably get more offensive weapons in the draft to help out with the tight end. I mean, we needed another tight end, in my opinion. But I think Dak, he's set up for the future here in Dallas, and I'm excited for what to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they had the talent. They definitely had the talent. They had the talent last year, too. It's just defense. I think that's where they need to be. That's where they need to address. I think they need to address the defense and the offensive line. The offensive line is not as good as it was past years. So they're addressing some of these needs, and the Cowboys could be a really good team as long as Dak comes back healthy. As you said, they have the weapons. I think Zeke he can have a bounce back year. They just need that talent around him, and because like I said, Dak was good. He was good last year. Those 4 games before he got hurt, he was really good. He was playing lights out. He just couldn't keep a lead because the defense was bad. So I think they need to address the defense and they need to address the offensive line. Once they do that, they should be the favorites in the NFC East. They should be.
Yeah, but don't
Yeah,
discount Washington. Washington is making moves too. So
yeah, they are. They are making moves. They just picked up what they picked up a quarterback. Who did they
it's
just pick
magic.
up? Oh yeah, they picked up Fizz Magic. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much he's still got left. Yeah, they got Heineke. I still think they should have went after Cam at least. But Cam Newton re-signed with New England. Speaking of that, let's go to New England. What do you think of their move? They're loading. They're like reloading
Dude,
up.
they're going back to the Aaron Hernandez and Gronk days, two tight ends. That
Two
man,
tight
oh my,
ends, yeah.
to snatch up the top two tight ends in free agency this year. Oh my God, you got Hunter Henry, one healthy, one of the best. John Smith, he is
Good.
he's
Yep.
an up and coming tight end, and man, Bill Belichick, he's a Hall of Fame GM and a Hall of Fame coach. Man, this guy knows how to knows how to do it all. But but Cam Newton has no excuses now. Look at this. You got
Yeah.
but whoever's quarterback, I don't know who is going to be the starting, but whoever is the starting quarterback, look what you have now. You have Nelson Aguilar, you got Kendrick Bourne, you got two tight ends that's capable of putting big numbers each day. You got a pretty good offensive line, and you guys they beefed up on defense too with the Ravens pickup and some other pickups. But man, this Patriots team, they know how to reload. I think they said to themselves after last year when it was they didn't want to see. I think after Tom Brady won that Super Bowl, I think they said to themselves, we got to reload again.
Yeah, right. I think that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. I had Crystal Stone on the show. Oh no, I had her on the show, but I had Gabby Hurlbut. She's a Patriots fan, so I had her on the show this week, and we were talking about her Patriots and what they've done, and she said when they first got Cam back, she didn't really. She said, we'll see what happens, but then right after they got all those weapons, John Smith and Hunter Henry and Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar. And on top of that, they still got Edelman. They still got a running game. They still got Sony Michelle. They still got all these guys. So, and I told her that, I think Belichick saw, Brady won without me, in Tampa Bay. So he didn't like being 6-10. He's got tremendous respect for Cam Newton. You could tell, like, that's why he re-signed him again for I think 1 year, $13 million or something like that. So Cam gets another chance. And Cam Newton last year, he didn't have a great year at all, but he had COVID.
Yeah.
And then he came back. I think he was never the same after that. But he had some accuracy issues and things like that. So now, like you said, there's no excuse. New England's giving you another chance. Belichick's giving you another chance. They're building the offense around you. They're putting weapons around you. You have no excuse. Now, I don't think they're gonna beat Buffalo, but they should definitely be a wild card team.
Yeah, but the one question is, who's gonna get the most of the catches now here? Because Jono Smith and Hunter Henry, to be honest, I think they're both number 1A. Hunter Henry's 1A, and then 1, and then Jono Smith is 1A. So my biggest question is, who gets the more catches, more receptions, and it's really interesting to see how they work out. But I think, man, you to be able to get the two top tight ends in free agent class, that's amazing. Yeah. And how do you think it would work out with those two tight ends?
I think it would work out fine because Belichick knows how to use two tight ends.
Yeah.
I think that's been that's a plan for a lot of teams. They get the two tight ends that can block and get down the field, and both of those guys are really good receiving tight ends. And that Cam Newton, I mean, that could be his security blankets. Like he wants to throw the ball down the field, and he can throw the ball down the field with those guys. And then we got Aguilar, and then now you got Kendrick Bourne on top of with Edelman and whatever other receivers they already have or they get. He's got weapons now, and the running game should be solid. On top of that, like I said, the offensive line, they still got to address that a little bit. They have been addressing the offensive line, so they're putting all the pieces for a run. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be better than Buffalo. I don't think they're going to be better than Kansas City, of course. I think those are still the two top teams in the AFC, but everybody else, maybe the Colts. The Colts should be good with Carson Wentz if Carson Wentz get back on track. Besides those 2-3 teams, New England should be right there in the mix. So I think it can work. It's just all about Cam and his accuracy issues. If he can get that situated, and he can still run the football. He's still a talent and a terror running the football. I think New England could be top 5, top 6 team in the AFC.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they can be a wild card team. But another move, but even though I hate this, another move that it was sneaky good was the Giants getting Kyle Rudolph on a 2-year deal. I think I like that. I wanted the Dallas Cowboys to get Kyle Rudolph, but that didn't happen. But that's just another sneaky good move, man. Kyle Rudolph is still productive in the league, and that's a huge security blanket for Daniel Jones there.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, we'll see what the Giants do. And then you said the NFC East, it can't get any worse, can it? I mean, it was so bad, and I mean, I'm looking forward to with the Eagles. The thing about the Eagles, I think they're rebuilding because you got rid of Carson Wentz, you got rid of your coach, got a new coaching staff. I don't even know if they're giving the keys to Jalen Hurts or not. They're talking like they are, but by the sounds of it, it looks like they're being sketchy about it. So who knows what's going to go on with the Eagles? The Cowboys have reloaded. They're bringing most of their team back. Like I said, they're addressing all the needs they need to. Washington, I mean, I don't. I mean, the Fitzpatrick move. If he was the backup, I would be like, okay, that's fine. But
the Curtis Samuel move was a great one there.
That was a good move. That was a good move for them. And then the Giants, as you said, the Giants they're trying to get in the mix. Saquon, so he should be back. Hopefully, he'll be back 100% healthy.
No, they're still trying to get. Yeah, they're trying to get Kenny Golladay. He's still in the building here.
Yeah, and I wish the Eagles could get Golladay or somebody like that, but they don't have the cap space. They just don't have the cap to move. They don't have the cap room. They just got under the cap, so they got to do some sneaky moves there. But yeah, free agency that's a madness. It's just that's March Madness in itself. But I'm looking forward to see what happens because you got the draft coming up. And
actually, I'm surprised that Clowney's still on the market. Like this is the same exact thing that he had been through last year.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why no one is picking him up. And and obviously there's a lot of great free agents out there. So that's a whole loaded of free agents out there still. But the Clowney one is still puzzling to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of free agents, man. There's still a lot of guys. So, and it's still an ongoing thing with free agency. So, but that's all I had today, man. Thanks for coming on to the show once again. Like you said, I don't know how many times it's been. We've been on the show so many times, but I really glad that you're back. Glad that you're doing your thing, doing big things. But again, let everyone know where they can find the podcast and where they can find you on social media and what you got upcoming this next week.
Yeah, so you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, the NR Hour _ on Instagram and Twitter, and then Nitin Ramachandra on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and you can follow my whole team now that we have assembled. You can follow them. We have a great team, obviously, and looking to add more to the team. And obviously, you guys are part of it too. BS3 Radio, shout out to you guys. You guys are doing big things too. And then, like I said, thank you again for having me on. This has been awesome, and I love coming on the show. And we have to get you back on the show at some point. So that's So we're gonna get you back on the show, and Ben. We have to get Ben on the show. I don't think we haven't had Ben yet on the show. So I have to get Ben. Yeah. But so for this week we have lined up. I'm still trying to get a guest for today or tomorrow, so hopefully it happens. But Monday we have 4 people. 12 o'clock, starting with Walter Jones, Hall of Fame offensive tackle from the Seahawks. Yeah. And then 1 o'clock we got Matt Schaub. He recently retired 4 days ago from the Texans, and I'm really looking forward to that one because I'm going to ask him how was it playing with Deshaun Watson and what was he like as a teammate, so I can get more insight from that. And then. And then 3 o'clock we have Leonard Wheeler, a former NFL defensive back, and then 4 o'clock we have 2021. He's going to be in this year's draft. Jerry Jacobs from Arkansas. He's a safety. Okay. He's a defensive back. He's coming on the show Monday too. 2021 draft prospect. And I heard that your Eagles might be interested in him in the draft.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great. So I'll be tuning into all of that on Monday.
Tuesday we have a fitness person, Anthony Mendez. He's big time. He's part of I think Puma athlete thing, and we're really looking forward to that. And then Wednesday we have Dan Straley. He's an MLB pitcher, but he's pitching in the KBO league right now in Korea for the Ledo Giants. So he's coming on Wednesday. The funny thing is that interview is at 8:30 p.m. Wednesday. It'll be Thursday for him, and we're doing the interview. So
yeah, right. That's funny. I had something like that with Farah Hanoun. She's a MMA reporter, and she lives in Italy. And when I reached out to her, this was a couple weeks ago, and she covers MMA, and she covered the Fight Island, and she does a lot of good things. And we got together, and I told her, well, I could do it in the evening. I've been doing all these things in the evening, except for on the weekend. And I said, well, how about 9:00 p.m.? She said, well, I could do that, but I'm 7 hours ahead, so it'd be about 4:00 a.m. her time. I was like, oh, okay, you be asleep. So I told her like, let's try it early in the morning. So I did it like 11 o'clock. I did it when I was at work. I did 11 a.m. Our time, East Coast time, and that her time was like 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. She said, I'll be at work, but I can do it then. So that was a good. So I get it. Like you said, it's gonna be the next day for him, and then it'd be morning for you. So, but yeah, good luck on all your interviews, and good luck with everything you got going on and stuff like that for the rest of the year. And again, thank you for coming onto the show. I always appreciate our conversations. I'm gonna upload this. I'll share it throughout social media and share it with you and all that. So yeah, thanks again, man, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy these games as well.
Yeah, thank you again for having me on. And March Madness, here we come. And then and you said Florida State's playing right now, so I'm going to check that game out right now as we speak, and then looking forward to the other games, and just hopefully our brackets are not busted by the end of the day.
I know. Yeah, we lose if we go 9-7 again, 10-6. We're just about done. I mean, we can recover throughout later in the brackets, but in the tournament. But we can't lose more than 7 games this time around. So we'll see what happens today and tonight. So, but yeah, enjoy your weekend, man, and looking forward to see what you got upcoming with the NR Hour podcast. And I'll talk to you real soon.
Oh, by the way, before you end this, I want to say something about the women's side real quick. I think they finally have the weight room there. I think the NCAA was tweeted up pictures.
Saying they stepped it up. Okay.
I think so. I saw something there. But I just want to say that's ridiculous what we saw on how dare NCAA does that? Like the women deserve the same as the men. So that it's crazy.
I addressed that earlier in the show. I said, we're in 2021. It shouldn't come down to this. Like you said, the women's NCAA, women's in general should deserve the same thing as the men. They shouldn't have those small weights and a yoga mat. Like, come on. And then they try to say, well, we didn't have the room or whatever. They showed it. They had all this room in the weight room, like all this extra space. So NCAA needed to step up. They made a mistake. They should just own it. You made a mistake, and you step up. You step up and make it work. I saw Dick's Sporting Goods was going to, they had all this equipment in their trucks, and they thought like, we got you guys. We'll bring you, because they train. They have to train. They have to lift weights. They got to do the same stuff that the men do. So yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. So I'm glad that hopefully NCAA steps it up and they give them a better state-of-the-art gym and training facility, so that they can actually be able to actually train as well as much as the men's. Yeah, I agree, man. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go and end the show, and then I'll talk to you very soon, man. And thanks again. I really always appreciate you coming on.
All right, thank you again. Yep, and enjoy the games.
All right, you too, man. All right, talk to you soon.